Okay, things are happening, guys. We're getting ready to paint.
It hasn't all gone off nice. This is day one of Operation Fix Problem.
What are you up to?
You're removing this piece of wood.
Yeah. It's rotten.
It's not good. You can see where the sort of flood level went up to. So I cut a new piece of wood. Not 100% precise. I followed the other one as a template and it's slightly too big, but better to be too big than not big enough. So I'll slice a piece off and get that fitting, make the battens to hold this on, and just underneath here some of the wood wasn't 100%, it was a little bit corroded, rotten I think is the term. So I just poked it all out and covered it with resin, and let's see, you know, look how much floor it is, and it's got this on top, so we'll see. Maybe at a later stage give all this a tidy up, but that is something we don't need to do right now. Marina's in the engine room, putting down more fiberglass. Hey, Marina.
Hello. Stuart's getting frustrated with this wood.
Oh, come on, bro. Oh, come on, just play cool. It's literally like, because it just won't sit right. I can show you the problem. The weed dilemma. So this piece of wood that I've replaced.
It's too far in.
Yeah, see, so if it gets screwed, this will lean. So I've got to...
But what, can't you just move it forward?
I just cut too much with that multi-tool. It's a little bit annoying.
And you put some filler in there?
Yeah, just on this floor, because it's seen better days, but I think we'll get a couple more seasons out of this. Seems better.
I'm gonna show you what I've been up to in my hole. I've reinforced this area where all the sea cooks were, 3 through holes, and I've been fairing the inside to fiberglass, because if I fiberglass now it was gonna be too many air bubbles, and that's not good. I want this bit solid, and the better we do the fiberglass in here, the better for the engine, I guess.
That's it.
Also, the idea here is gonna be that we're gonna raise the bottom of this bilge up to the top of that joiner piece between the two sides. We're gonna check with a friend who is an expert on fiberglassing what's the best way to do that, because we don't want it so deep, plus we want to seal it properly, like build a new bottom. So I don't know how we're gonna do that. It's gonna be an interesting project. Let's see if I can make these look neat enough to put some primer on. Sanding again. Lovely.
Marina's Marina's upstairs sanding, organising those cockpit drains. I'm downstairs epoxying all of this floor. So all around me is the floor. So I did this yesterday, just sanded all the edges. Don't know how good you can see that. I've just got a few edges left just to neaten up, round off a little bit so it's not super gnarly. And then I've got to epoxy all of it. And this is one of the hatches that I made. Hold up. On it. There we go. Right. Forward. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. Wrong way around. Whoops. So they might need taking back a little bit after epoxied, but we need to start somewhere. So all of this gets a layer of epoxy, then it can be tabbed in. That's after we've gel coated the bilge, which we're pretty close to having done. So, well, the prep anyway. So yep, a lot of work to do. See, I screwed these in just whilst they glued, and now I'll undo the screws and put nuts and bolts through. I've had these rot out on me before, so hopefully this won't happen. We'll have a dry bilge this time. So just sanding the edges just so there's no sharp bits. Just so it's all fairly safe to the touch. A tiny little bit of finishing off. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then hopefully the epoxy should soak in. Maybe I'll put 2 coats on the bottom, because on the top, whatever floor we decide to go with, we'll end up sticking it down anyway.
Not perfect, but it's done. It has taken a long time because it's very difficult to sand all these without touching the surrounding areas. So I've had to use first the finger sander, then the Dremel, then a little bit by hand. I know the inside looks bad. It has got the shape of the plastic bag and the tape, but I don't care. No one's gonna see that. As long as that fits and sits right, I'm happy. And it will be all sealed with Sikaflex probably. So it's okay. Do you wanna have a look?
Yeah, go on. I'm just about to start epoxying those. Ooh, sexy. Yeah, she'll be right. Yeah, that's perfect.
You think?
Yeah, that'll do.
How is the floor doing?
There is no floor.
Down there, I mean.
Oh yeah, it's all ready to go. I'm just knocking up some resin now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bottom side up. We'll give them a quick wipe down with some acetone, and then hopefully we're ready to start getting the epoxy on. I've rounded off all the edges, so yeah, so they all look fairly smooth to the touch. Alright, let's get them cleaned and epoxied. I've got a gloss roller, maybe that will do. We'll have a go. It seems to be going on easy enough.
This is the primer we're using for the deck. 2-part epoxy primer. And I need to mix a ridiculous amount of paint. Very little. So I hope I can just do it scooping it out with these and using the scales because I don't want to waste any paint. Battery died, but it's done.
Just doing the second coat of epoxy on the underside of the boards now. I've already done half of them, and we'll see if 2 layers makes them fairly watertight. A few bugs got on some of them, but they're part of the ship now. Part of the ship, part of the crew. And there we have it. That's the bottom of all the floorboards up until the corridor. So up to the engine room. We've got all the floorboards epoxied underneath. Hopefully tomorrow we can do the top sides and start looking at fiberglassing them in next week. I made a 4-inch mark, so I know where to put peel ply on the next layer of epoxy. So then when it comes to tabbing it in, we should just be able to pull the peel ply off. So yeah, that's about it. Awesome. Decided to put another little hatch in so we can get to another area of the bilge. Marina was saying it's handy to be able to access as much bilge as possible. So here's a little square. Hopefully it's fairly in line with the next one and it doesn't look too bad, so yeah, let's give it a go. Marina was at a loose end, so she came to give me a hand.
That's not true. I wasn't at a loose end. I was just bored of sanding. Inside. In pain. Oh, I've got the mark of the mask.
Yeah.
Okay, things are happening, guys. We're getting ready to paint a big part of the bilge, and Stuart's about to drill a hole for the depth sounder. don't know if you remember, but he created this little step to make it flush, like
Straight.
straight, yeah.
in
What's that?
the last boat, it went at like at this angle, so for the depth it was no good.
He has to go from the underneath now because the drill bit doesn't reach anymore. Stu is not straight.
That's right. Perfect. It's fine. You got like 10 degrees, so it's okay.
Ah, what?
Yeah,
There is like a maximum of 10 degrees that you can...
Yeah.
Ah, that's okay. I thought it needed to be completely...
Straighter than the last one.
Yeah.
That's not too bad, is it? I can probably straighten it up.
Stuart's gonna try to straighten it up. The problem is when he drilled from the bottom, it didn't completely match the cut that he was doing from the top. So there's a tiny bit there left on the bottom. That little lip needs to go and then it will be straighter. You see that little bit is the one that is making... Ah, nice.
How straighter. Still a slight angle, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's better. I don't think you can really appreciate on the camera, but that is better now. Still a tiny angle, but it's supposed to be in the safe range.
How's it going now, Marina?
Yeah, good.
Nice. We have a few areas painted. Pretty excited. Hopefully soon we can start putting the floor in. Those famous words that we've been saying for months. So the gel coat in the end was a total disaster. Pretty disappointed, but not a lot I can do apart from take it off and use a different product. So looks like I've got something planned for the weekend. It hasn't all gone off nice. It's been going off better over the last few days, but some areas are still just a bit sticky. So I think to cut my losses, get rid of it and use something else. So a little bit disappointed, but it's not the end of the world, is it? It's just a bit of gel coat. So I best get to figuring out how to get this off. This rag covered, saturated in acetone. Seems to be getting rid of it pretty quickly. If I can get the horrible stuff off, the stuff that hasn't cured, then I hopefully can sand the rest. It's so super patchy, and that's what I don't get. Everyone was saying it's not going to go onto the epoxy, but it seems to be alright. And it's even patchy on the polyester, so comments below. This is day 1 of Operation Fix Problem. Not too bad on the whole for the first day. Hopefully finish the 3 little bilge areas off tomorrow, and then paint it and forget it ever happened. Whoopsie! That's it for this week's adventure. It's not been a bad week. Some good, some bad, some annoying. But it's been a week and we're making progress. I want to thank everyone that helps us bring this project alive, as it were. To all the super thanks, it's been really good. People donating via Coffee and PayPal, thank you. And especially to our Patreons. We say it every week, but we honestly mean it. It really helps us. Well, without you, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed, and maybe next week something is different. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Have a good week. Goodbye.